Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and this is our WWE Fastlane review show. As you can see or hear, I'm joined by my co-host and illustrious tag team partner, Mr. Adam Cousins. Ads, how are you, brother?
All good. Monday afternoon, and I'm back on the 0% beer or a non-alcoholic beer. This one happens to be the worst flavour. Not that I'm a beer flavour connoisseur, but there is other colours and options available from all good retailers, but do not get this one. And if you're asking why I'm drinking it, I need to empty the fridge.
Oh, yeah, that's one good reason, mate. Yeah, like it isn't proper alcohol and you need to empty the fridge. That would be we're turning into Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes doing this podcast if that was the case. That would be funny. But let's say what a good way to start the Fastlane review. Oh, you got all dark. Oh, there he is. I wonder where you went. Fastlane, WWE Fastlane. There's another one of them shows where we weren't sure the card. Everyone was like, "Oh, we haven't got many matches on this card. Not really sure how this is going to go." What did you make of it, bro?
As usual with this, and we say this with AEW as well as WWE, sometimes these B or C rated pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them, or premium live events, as WWE now call them, you look at the card and you think, okay. And it gets better, and they just make it better than what it looks. And they've done exactly that.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid show. I mean, the writer's strikes helped. It's helped having Cena back, and that's got, not that they need more eyes on the product, but anytime you get John Cena in the building, it's always going to be good. So that was good. And we started off the show. Was it the tag team titles?
It was.
Yeah, we're up for grabs. I see, good memory. I don't need notes. The tag teams are on the line, and we have new.
The tag team titles on the line. The tag teams wasn't.
The tag team.
How many have you had?
Yeah, I've turned it to Jey so on a Monday afternoon. We've got new tag team champions, bro. Is this something that we didn't see this coming when we talked about what was happening and where they were going with the tag team titles? We thought Judgment Day were eventually going to get everything. We had, senior money in the bank cashing in, and it just proves what we know. Jey and Cody now are tag team champions. What did you make of that? We'll get to the press conference after because that was hilarious. These two could be comedy gold together, and that's not something I thought I'd say. These two having great comedy value, but new tag champs, brother. What do you reckon?
Interesting. As you say, wasn't something that I had expected one bit, which is nice because sometimes those ones can be pleasantly surprising. And as you alluded to the press conference, and we'll get into that in a minute. But the match itself was really good. I mean, Judgment Day, being Judgment Day, you had all five of them interfering as they normally do. It didn't work this time, and Cody Rhodes has kind of finished the story. He's won the title.
I suppose he's put it on pause. I guess the main story.
Yeah, the main story is probably on pause. But yeah, match itself was great. It was one of those ones where the ending threw me. I didn't expect them to walk out tag team champions.
The whole JD McDonough thing set up whatever we're going to see tonight on Raw. And,
possibly.
Definitely not going to be part of the Judgment Day now. No, he's costing.
Well, I don't know. I think eventually Priest will cash in and foul, and then he'll get kicked out. I think eventually that's my not my recommendation. That's why I envision. God knows. That's what I think is going to happen. We'll sort that out. That's what I think is going to happen.
You shouldn't drink alcohol-free beer, bro. Just stick to normal beer, please.
I took more sense drinking beer. That's what I think is going to happen. But yeah, I thought it was great. I thought it was a great way to start the show and a surprising finish.
Where do you think they go now with the tag team titles? Who they're going to defend? Is it going to be some sort of rematch? Do you reckon they'll get it to Saudi Arabia? Will it be on Raw? Will it be on SmackDown? Because now they can go anywhere. This is the whole Cody going to SmackDown thing now. Well, that's he can go there anyway now because he's part of the tag team champions.
And so can Jey.
So can Jey. I mean, obviously we've got the Cody announcement this week on NXT. A lot of people thought that might be him announcing that he's going to SmackDown. Me and you think it'll be the Dusty Rhodes Cup coming back, but like we said at the start, what the hell do we know? We're just a couple of dudes with microphones. Where would you like to? Just not ask where you think it'll go. Where would you like to see it go now with Jey and Cody?
I think it's weird. I think they're going to start feuding with Sami and Kevin now. I think that's the logical because Kevin's still annoyed. I would have said it would have been probably McRiddle had Riddle not decided to get high and try and pretend to be sexually assaulted at an airport.
Did you see him on the microphone at the airport, by the way?
Oh my God. If you want
he's going to be one of them, mate. He's going to be on some B-list fucking or Z-list reality show within a year. I can see
he's going back to MMA.
He get his ass kicked in that. And I saw Dana White's interview about him saying that's why he got kicked out of like the UFC and all that, like, originally, because he was just, they couldn't fucking, it won't be the UFC he goes back to. It'll be
it won't be a
second
UFC.
rate, be some second rate company that he goes back to. But as far as the tag team titles go, yeah, it's going to be Sammy and KO makes sense at Saudi Arabia, I guess, against Cody and Jay.
Unless Judgment Day won't have their rematch there, unless they have the rematch this week or in the coming week, I don't know.
Could put it on NXT.
Oh, everything else is going NXT. Why not?
NXT's like a pay-per-view this week.
Yeah, I know.
Where do we? Yeah, so new tag team champions. Obviously, JD McDonough costing all went a bit wrong at the end where he took out Priest's leg when he was on the table. They really sold that whole. That kind of led into why he maybe didn't cash on in later in the night, because as soon as you see the words "last man standing," you're like, well, there's probably going to be a cash in because someone's going to be on the floor and just about make it. But we'll get to Seth Rollins landing on a bed later. Where did we go after the tag team titles?
We went with a 6-man. Well, it wasn't a 6-man to begin with, but we went.
Yes, I spit in the face. He's back. What did you make of what happened next?
Well, the 6-man, obviously Lashley and the Profits versus it was initially Santos and Ray, and eventually about halfway through the match, a returning Carlito who's been in catering since July.
Catering's definitely got a gym there.
Yeah, it's got saying in there. He's jacked.
He is jacked to the. He thinks had some of the old Vince McMahon love juice. I think Jesus, he was.
So many women in WWE.
Yeah. We could say that, but Carlito is back in WWE. Probably the first time we saw him a little bit at the pay-per-view at Backlash, but he hasn't really been seen since 2003. Full time in WWE. Come back. I know he's had a few little Royal Rumble appearances, but is this going to be See, I'm not too sure. Everyone's like, "Oh, Carlito's back." I'm like, wasn't that great the first time around. I reckon this will just be another 4 or 5 months. They'll get this. I'm not as invested in this storyline as I think the whole Puerto Rico thing was good. I think this storyline's kind of fizzled out now, and I don't think Carlito's going to give much to it. It might be. I might be wrong. I mean, I like the dude. I like Ray. Obviously, the whole LWO. I don't think that's catching on as much as they think it would. I was surprised they went over against the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. I thought they were meant to be the next big heels. They're going to be, we thought they were bringing back the Hurt Business, etc., etc. But Jade Cargill was in the building. I thought when Carlito come out, I thought she might have come out, and they incorporated her to that, but they didn't. They just left her backstage in her wrestling gear for the whole event. We can touch on that later, maybe. Jade Cargill was on the kickoff show, getting out of a limo in full wrestling gear. Looked like the Silver Surfer had been on holiday, and greeted by Triple H. But yeah, I was a bit surprised with the outcome of that match. The Street Profits and Lashley, I thought they would have gone over. Yeah,
it's an interesting one, wasn't it? Because kind of, as you said, Street Profits and Lashley are the new kids on the block in the sense of the formation of whatever you call that team in a minute. I don't know. But then Carlito's return, so it was kind of who's the one that takes the loss, I suppose, on that. So they probably went for the most, I say, logical-ish choice, which is just put the faces over. But I think the LWO will eventually go heel. I think that's what Carlito's there to do. I think eventually Ray will be kicked out of that group and Carlito will slot in.
Everyone turns on Ray, don't they? His son,
Batista, his son.
I reckon everyone turns on. Yeah, because I can't see them pushing Carlitos as a singles.
No, I think it'll be, as I say, I think it'll be the LWO. They used to say, what's that program? Everyone loves Raymond. Well, in WWE's case, everyone hates Ray.
Everyone hates Ray.
Everyone turns on Ray.
Turned more time than milk he does. But no, interesting. Going to be interesting. Where do we go next?
We went with the women's title next.
Oh, good banger of a match, I thought.
Very good, man. Very good banger of a match between Charlotte and good Io Sky as well.
Surprised Jade Cargill didn't get involved? Considering this is where I thought if she didn't get involved with the Street Profit, blah, 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 I'm thinking, well, otherwise, why would you show her in the kickoff? We all knew she was in the company anyway. She's in full wrestling gear. Like I said, coming out like the Silver Surfer. And I'm thinking, what? We all know she's in the company. So why show her at the start getting out of a limo in her full wrestling gear if she's not going to be involved, or was that a tease to say, look, she's coming soon? Do we see her on Raw tonight? Me and you sit here recording this Monday. Do we see her on Monday Night Raw this evening? What did you make of it? The match was good, obviously. Retaining. The ending was okay. The match itself was really good. Really enjoyed the match. Obviously, Bayley's involved. We can kind of see where they're going with that. But for me, I just didn't see if she's there, Jade Cargill's there, get her involved.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen her maybe in the crowd at that point, or coming out onto the stage, maybe just to glance over the opposition. So
just have her at the end watching the screen or something. Pan to her backstage. She's watching that match, and you're thinking, "Oh, hang on, here we go." That's
what it was Carlito's left catering.
Oh, so she's gone into catering.
So she's joined the Authors of Pain.
Yeah, she's sitting there. She's probably Authors of Pain. Haven't got any friends at the minute, so they can chill with Jade Cargill. But yeah, I think why was she there?
Probably because Collision was on, so they thought, well, why not just bring her? And
there was no one at that. You don't have to worry about that.
You've
seen the pictures that. Oh my god,
the thing with this. I was just going to talk about this quickly. I know with WWE, and this is WWE, but they booked a 12,000 seat arena, and they sold 2,500 tickets. They didn't open up all the areas. Obviously, there was, I don't get this. Like, why don't you book smaller venues? If you're not gonna sell the tickets, 12,000 tickets, why don't you just open? Why don't you
pack out a 7,000 seaters?
They got I think they've got for Dynamite. I don't know if it's Dynamite or Collision this week. They've got like a 5,000 seat arena, which is perfect. Because even if you sell 3,500 tickets, it's going to look full. I didn't get that for Collision. I'm going to talk about that in a little while when I do Collision.
Yeah, you're on the Collision review today, bro. Unfortunately, I'm going back to work.
See my dulcet tones again.
Yes, I've been with you all week, mate. I've done well. Kept up all week with you.
Yeah.
This is what it's like to be you. I'm at home during the day. But as far as the women's title, where's that going now? Is Jade Cargill is she tonight Raw involved away? Do we put her straight in the mix? Do we put her in NXT? Do we put her on SmackDown? All from what we're hearing, she's going to be on Raw, which EO's normally on. Her and Bayley.
Rhea, then, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's going to be Rhea Ripley, and she's getting more over at the minute. The crowd reaction to her on her own is really good. Do you put her and Jade straight together? And I can't see them two. The whole Saudi Arabia thing isn't going to work because you've got to go. You've literally got to go dressed like a post boxer to go and wrestle over there.
Won't work for Jade.
Won't work for Jade Cargill. You know what I mean? I don't mean that horribly, but I don't think they're going to debut at Saudi Arabia, which all leans to. I can't see it being Survivor Series, so it's got to be Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, it probably will be Raw or SmackDown. I don't know which one, and I don't want her to be thrusted straight into the title picture either. I think that's when
they bring her out Tuesday night. Big time Bex.
I mean, why not?
Cargill's music hits.
NXT's not exactly loaded.
But they don't have to fight on NXT. They could just debut her on NXT because Becky Lynch is on fucking she's everywhere. You can mainly on SmackDown. We've seen her a few times on Raw. No, mainly on Raw. Sorry, we've seen her. Yeah. So you could have Jade Cargill come out at the end of the. I'm guessing Becky Lynch is going to win. And next, So she's going to win, and then you could have Jade Cargill come out at the end, and that tease it maybe then next week on Raw. Then they're up and running.
I think knowing WWE and knowing the fact that Dynamite's live with NXT on Tuesday, it wouldn't shock me if they brought her out Tuesday. I think she should earn her stripes, though. I know she isn't going to be on NXT by the sound of it. She's going straight to the main roster. I would have liked her to have done an NXT run. I think that benefits a lot of because Jade Cargill was always quite green in the ring in AEW as well. And I know she come through the Nightmare Factory, but every match she was always an element of she was still getting rid of that greenness. And I know we'd be fucking more green than what she would be, but it's just one of those things that
I'd like a Brussels sprout, bro. Yeah.
I'd be a minted pea.
Hard hitting journalism on hitting the turnbuckle as always.
Yeah, she's all about the journalism. I'd like to have seen her earn her stripes in NXT, but I don't think that's going to happen by the sound of it. But at the same time, I don't want her thrusted straight into the title picture. But I think that's where they're going to go with it because long term, I don't think that works. If you thrust someone straight into a title picture and they win, once they lose,
then what do you do?
I'd like a steady build to Mania.
The chase is always better than, the hunted is always better than the hunter is always better than the hunted. Or something like that. Yeah. Something along those lines. I'm trying to say. Yeah, it's early on in the week.
Monday.
We'll get this by the end of the week, I promise. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with her. I've got a sneaky feeling Tuesday night. It makes perfect sense. The AEW girl when they go up against AEW is on WWE TV. It'd be some sort of shithousery that WWE would pull. So yeah, interested. But yeah, the women's match was good for me. If they don't go down the Jade Cargill route, it'd be interesting to see what they do both sides of the division, because obviously Rhea Ripley hasn't fucking done much for ages defending wise. Obviously you've got the whole Nia Jax thing going on now. Is it like we just said a minute ago? They could just be segueing and waiting for Jade Cargill to come on, and they put her in a match, and then, like you say, it's risky because if she does go over, they've done it with Paige. I get it, but that was a different time then. That was the old Divas title, and yeah, interested. But yeah, let's move on with Fastlane. Where are we going next?
Well, McAfee come out for commentary for the next one, which was, and I always like Pat McAfee on commentary. He's brilliant. And it was the team of LA Knight and John Cena versus the somewhat Bloodline, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa, with the wise man at ringside. To be honest, I knew this was going to be. I knew who was going to win this before.
First time Cena's won on a pay-per-view in 5 years.
Jesus Christ, yeah, Jesus. That as well. But it also makes perfect sense because Roman's back on Friday.
He is season premiere of SmackDown this Friday on Fox.
Yeah, the season premiere of SmackDown, a season that never ends of SmackDown. Roman's back. It makes perfect sense for him to come back on the back of a loss than it would do on the back of a win, because he's going to have a lot to say. And I'm going to imagine he's going to kick off SmackDown. Or maybe Triple H will be kicking off saying, do you know what these things are going to be? He's going to come out and go, welcome to SmackDown. He's going to introduce Roman Reigns, and that's going to be Triple H done.
That's pretty much it. It was on the whatever it was, 1,000. Whatever
I think it was the season premiere last year.
Season premiere, didn't he just come out and say, "Welcome to Friday Night SmackDown"? Here's Roman Reigns. Yeah, so
I think you do the same again.
Yeah, you're going to have Jimmy and Jay, but you're going to have all the Bloodline in one building on Friday. That's going to be interesting. Will you see all of them and the Judgment Day in the ring again? That could be a possibility where they go with that. You know how we saw last week. With the that little alliance that was formed, do they progress that storyline a little bit more? Bear in mind that
on Twitter.
Did she? Oh, I don't follow her on Twitter.
Why?
I don't know.
You should.
Yeah, I don't know. I think obviously hitting the turnbuckle do, but me personally,
hitting turnbuckle definitely.
Yeah, too busy talking about Washington on my Twitter. But yeah, I mean, you've got War Games around the corner and Survivor Series, so 2 events that culminate in the team, quote unquote, team activities. War Games it's one of my favorite shows of the year. I preferred War Games when it was NXT War Games, by the way.
Yes, I know, but they've got to wheel out. They've got to try and wheel out Regal at some point to say.
Yeah, just to say, well, if he's allowed on TV.
Well, I think that clause might have gone now. I think that was when he come back. It might be for a certain amount of time.
But yeah, so I mean, look at last year's War Games was the whole Sami Zayn nearly turning, wasn't it? But then he punched Kevin Owens in the nuts.
The balls,
that War Games last year was really good. So do they go down that line now with War Games around the corner? You can kind of not discount Saudi Arabia, but it's just a fucking. It progresses storylines.
First things first, we'll find out who Roman's taking on in Saudi Arabia, because there's a lot of thing about.
It's John Cena. I'm telling you now.
It could well be Cena.
It's Cena now.
And then what does he do at somewhere? Because if he's the champion, sure, they used to do champion v champion. This is Survivor Series.
Don't be surprised. I said this to you. And don't be shocked when it happens. When John Cena wins one more world title. I'm telling you.
I'm not. So I won't be.
They want to break that record. They want Flair's record to go.
Yeah.
They want John Cena to retire and go in the Hall of Fame, breaking that record. So whether it's Seth's current title or Roman Reigns' current title, because I'm still not convinced they want to put it on Cody at Mania. We've been talking about this, but we're coming up nearly, we're getting near the end of the year. Me and you, we're doing all the WrestleMania shows last year, and we were like, Cody will win it next year. It'll be a whole year's storytelling, blah, blah, blah. Now we're getting closer and closer to where they start thinking of Mania. I'm starting to think, don't know if they are going to put it on Cody. Maybe they keep it. Could they?
It's nearly my 1 year. Anyway, it's nearly my 1 year anniversary of this show.
It is. I don't know. Bake you a cake?
Yeah, why not?
I'm shit at baking, so I'll buy you a donut or something. Are you allowed donuts?
Yeah.
Donuts.
I'm allowed to basically have whatever as long as it ain't.
Okay, I don't want to get help.
Should have seen what I had from McDonald's.
I don't want to be doing a podcast from the hospital with you again. Put it that way.
That was great. That was.
Yeah, you and the matron on the Patreon.
I did. Anyway, John Cena and LA Knight went over on that. Well, we did.
They did
cover that with the blunt force trauma, which is actually funny enough a tag team in NWA. I'll be on that this week with Fiona, by the way.
Shout out to Fiona and that Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, well, let's not talk that because you shouldn't be talking football after another defeat. But at least Tottenham won, right?
Yeah, Tottenham won, mate. We're top of the league.
So yeah, Cena on that one sets up Roman Reigns. What they're going to do with Mania, I don't know. But funnily enough, you're talking about briefcases. They went out the back and they had the bit where Priest was getting ready to, and Rhea's kind of alluded to the fact that it's not time.
It's not time.
Leave the building, and they do.
Do you reckon he cashes in at Mania?
No, he'll cash in.
I reckon Roman could retain at Mania, and then he cashes in.
No, I think that's a good idea.
I don't think it's Roman. I think it's the title that Seth's got now.
Whatever title, whoever's the champion by then, I think he cashes in November. I think maybe January, and then Rumble. He doesn't get it. I don't know. He'd probably be in the Rumble, wouldn't he?
Could still cash in.
Could still try it, but I still think that he'll cash in December, January time, and it'll be unsuccessful. I can't see them putting the title on him. Not that close to WrestleMania. I think if they were going to put a title on him, he would already be champion by now, and he would have dropped it by the time. By the time Mania comes around. Not because I don't think he's main event level, but WrestleMania is.
I think The Rock will be in the main event of the Rumble.
Right, Rock might be in the Royal Rumble.
You better get cleared to fly.
I'll find out in a couple of weeks.
So Cena, it's been now. I was reading something about Cena. They asked him, I think it was either yesterday or it might have been sometime today. I just saw I was scrolling through the HCTB Twitter this morning, and they were saying that because obviously he had a big project before the writer's strike happened. He didn't say what film he was filming, but he was in the midst. So that can start up again now. But he's obviously signed this short-term-ish deal with WWE. How long do you think we have Cena till? Because there's no way we're not going to see him at Mania. I've got a feeling it's either going to be him or The Rock that go into the Hall of Fame this year as the headline act. I can't think of anyone else who would be the headliner, shall we say, quote unquote, in the WWE Hall of Fame for WrestleMania. It's in Philadelphia. You know, The Rock's synonymous with Philadelphia.
I think will go into it, but not as the headline. But I think Heyman's going in this year.
That would make sense.
An ECW.
Who inducts him?
Well, Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer.
Dudley's. They've signed Legends deals with WWE.
See, Lex Luger signed a deal today.
Yeah, good luck.
And apparently Hulk Hogan
has re-signed with WWE.
Yeah, re-signed. I didn't even know
Oh my God.
I didn't even know he was still. I know we're segueing here a little bit, but yeah, I saw Lex Luger signed a Legends deal, which is amazing. Anytime I get to hear him talk or do anything, Lex Luger.
Yeah. Issues aside that he's had, which we know, but obviously, he's in it, to look what wrestling's done to him, and obviously there's substance abuse and all that stuff that he'd done, but that doesn't mean to say that you should shadow away of what what he's done for the business. So it's very good that
the Lex Express.
Yeah, the Lex Express and Hulk Hogan as well. I mean,
Hogan's re-signed. What? I didn't even know he was still on the payroll.
Well,
I haven't seen him since fucking Raw whatever it was.
I've listened to the podcast or the interview with Chris Van Vliet. It was a great podcast.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. But the thing is that everything that comes out of Hogan's mouth now, he told that story about Wembley and the kid. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
And he's the version of that story's changed 1,000 times.
He also said that Nick Hogan was meant to wrestle at WrestleMania.
Yeah, meant to be against Shane McMahon's son. Come on.
Speaking of Shane McMahon's son, he was showing.
The front row.
The quarterback, I think, or running back for. And he was showing
Indianapolis Colts,
with the Colts, they'll probably beat Washington.
They've got the everyone beats mate. Washington could be getting egg it right now. This I'm here to, this is good. I enjoy doing these podcasts. It's not bring my wife at Commander Bunker if anyone wants to listen.
Listen to that, brother.
Listen to that. You want to be really.
But anyway, let's go. We're literally at the main event now.
Yes, we've got to the main event. Yeah, we've got to the main event. Do I need to lay down for this, or is it just Seth Rollins that lays down during main event?
Lay down on a bed. Seth Rollins' latest advert for Dreams Beds.
How the fuck? Everyone must have seen it by now that's listening to this show or watching this on YouTube. There was a spot in the main event, Nakamura versus Seth Rollins, where Seth got thrown off the side of I don't know where the chairs are, where the fans are sitting. And everyone, at least it was a good crowd actually. Everyone that was there and everyone to a man went on within seconds were on Twitter. I purposely didn't look at I watched it that morning, so my phone was off. But then I went on once I text you, said I've watched it. We could both go online. Oh my God. And they don't even hide it.
No.
It's a double mattress, water bed, whatever it is underneath I don't know what was going on there. Let's kind of get to that in a minute. What did you make of the match? We weren't sure who was going to go over, and they did tease it really, really well because they both were down for the 10 count. Seth getting up just on 9 and winning it. My thing is now, I think Nakamura now 100% when their WWE Raw is in Japan in a matter of weeks, I've still got a feeling they'll go over there and they could win the title that night. I still think they're what me and you said weeks ago. They might put it on him for a couple of weeks. But what did you make of the match? I thought it was a really, really good match. You know, as last man standings go, they're usually bangers.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I recall even John Cena got a good last man standing match out of Carly, I think, at one point. And so that testament to last man standing. I do like those, but they are generally the feud enders. So I don't. Whether or not there's another way Nakamura sneaks in, but I don't think the loss harmed Nakamura as much as I thought it was. I mean, it was great to see him use the mist.
Yes.
Shout out to Great Muter it was red mist on this occasion. There was a lot of some mad spots. I mean, Seth's back. I mean, I know he landed on a bed, but the guy's got a bad back, and he went
the table spots, and they went into the crowd pretty early, and it was a really good match. Obviously, Seth retaining. So, do they continue the story? Do they have one more? Do they end the story in Saudi Arabia now? Is that it? Does Seth maybe go on? Seth's going to defend against.
My bet is Drew. I think this starts tonight. And I honestly,
so you're not doing anything still with.
He might do, but I think they'll get away.
The Viking Raiders and all that.
No, well, they've got their Viking rules match tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't. It's going to be interesting what they do. How long's he got left in his contract? You usually give it these
things.
It's
around Mania time, isn't it? Just after Mania.
Okay.
He hasn't signed a new one from what nothing's been reported anyway.
Imagine that, appear at Mania, then a week later appear on AEW. That would be like the old school Lex Luger turning up at a shopping mall.
That would also be a big fucking dose of reality from
Sheamus ain't far behind him. Sheamus' contract is
they could both. We said this. We could they're probably both. I mean, to be honest, Sheamus is suited at anywhere. I think Sheamus could pretty much turn up on any. He's one of those. He doesn't necessarily have to fit everywhere, but he does in terms of Drew probably suits AEW more. To be honest, I think that's where he should go. I think nowadays it gives him a chance to test that water, which is the good thing, because sometimes too much of the same thing sucks.
Worked for Moxley, didn't he? He's done. I still think he'll end up back in WWE, but
maybe
personally, I think everyone will eventually. You always want to retire in the WWE. People like you always want to end your career in WWE if you can, in my opinion. But where do they go with Seth now? What do they do as our next pay-per-view that you and I will be talking about? Is it War Games then Saudi Arabia, or Saudi Arabia then War Games?
Saudi Arabia first.
Saudi Arabia first. So that's in November.
November the 4th. It's the day before I go Rev Pro.
Yeah, it's on a Saturday, I think. And
it's
good timing for us. I think it's like 6 o'clock in the evening. There's a rumor going around that we might go live for that.
Well, there is a little potential
going around, potential rumor that they hit the turnbuckle.
We may,
could do a live show.
Dave will probably be up with Ace anyway. So
Dave and Ace's first appearance on the podcast. Parker can probably make it. Yeah, we might be all the hitting the turnbuckle lads. But yeah, what do they do with Seth now? Like I say, we're going to know more. Me and you tomorrow will be reviewing Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre. Any other possibility? Randy Orton. Been at the Performance Center for a while now. He's not at catering. He's been at NXT working out at the Performance Center.
He'll probably come back Tuesday.
Could you imagine if that was another one? Jesus Christ. We're going to need to clear about 2 hours to review NXT this week. Randy Orton, maybe?
Possibly. It could well be. I don't know who else really. I mean, he's
put the title on him straight away. That would be a fucking great move, by the way.
Yes, that would be a great move. And then you could have Punk and Orton potentially, assuming that Punk.
But he's coming back, mate. I'm convinced CM Punk's coming home.
But I don't know who's the heels there. Who's the top heel on SmackDown? I mean, Finn Balor is beat Nakamura. Do they go left field? Do they try Bronson Reed against him? Do they? I don't know. What I don't know.
Bronson Reed? What are you fucking having alcohol free?
I like Bronson Reed.
Yeah, I like him, but
I don't know. I really that's one of the reasons why I'm interested in Raw tonight.
They'll have to get Bronson Reed involved somehow near the end of the year because they go to Australia for a massive elimination chamber.
He's going to be, or at least he's going to be in that.
Well, Mania. So he'll be in the chamber match because they've got to have a home.
I'd love to see a tsunami off the.
Imagine that up the top of the fucking chamber. Wouldn't want to be the fucking poor bastard at the bottom of that, would you?
No, but it'll probably.
Jesus, that'll be like getting a kiss off Vanessa Phelps in the morning. Oh my god, that'll be a killer. Anyway, as far as Seth goes, I'm hoping it's someone. I hope they go left field now. If they went with Nakamura one more time, I'm not going to be. I won't be upset. But someone like Orton, you know, he's been at training at the Performance Center. We all know he's training. He's been in the ring. It's going to come a time, like you said, it would surprise me if it's Tuesday. Fucking hell. It would not surprise me in the slightest. But yeah, let's give Fastlane a grade overall, mate. I'm going to give it a solid 8.5.
Yeah, I think I'll go 8. Yeah, I think I would have liked. I don't know. There's nothing really else that it could have. I don't know. It's not. It wasn't a 10 quality, obviously, but they pretty much ticked everything they needed to tick off. So a couple of feuds ended. I think the Seth Nakamura one has ended.
The tag one is going to be interesting where they go with the tag titles, the women.
Tag titles now, yeah, the women.
Jade Cargill could now debut on Raw this evening. I think me and you might be sitting there in 24 hours' time reviewing Raw going, she debuted.
Maybe.
Or is it the whole Becky Lynch? Becky Lynch. Oh, yeah, it could be Becky Lynch. I could say Becky Lynch could be standing there with the title. Jade Cargill's WWE music could hit.
It won't be much different to her AEW. So
no.
Just a slight tweak. A bit like Edge's when he went to, or Adam Copeland, sorry, now he went to AEW. It will be a slight tweak, if anything. Yeah. You need to keep that kind of, you know, music because that music was part of her. That's what it was kind of like. I'd say, but it's kind of like watching a porno with her music.
You are at home a lot now.
I know.
Rachel is. She's busy doing our Instagram at work. You know. So.
I know, but it is. If you listen to her music, you'd kind of put it.
I did wonder why when you hugged me yesterday when I saw you, why you nearly broke my back.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Too
much time on my hands.
Literally. No, but yeah, Fastlane, mate. It was good. Really good show. Really good. Again, this is the second one where we were like the second pay-per-view. We had Backlash with me and you were like, oh, Puerto Rico, weren't really sure. Fastlane now, they've done it. So yeah,
the Payback, wasn't it?
Payback, we were unsure, and that was one of the best ones of the year so
same
far.
With AEW ones. They would all like sit there and go, I think the only one you didn't like was Forbidden Door, wasn't it? You weren't a fan of that. But
close that fucking door, never open that again. Have Impact up theirs yet?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yes.
Okay. See, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch it. I'm gonna go and watch that tonight. Something to do. But yeah, no, Fastlane was good, mate. We are gonna be back reviewing Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Yeah, but and then we're back this week. We've got NXT reviews coming up. We've got Dynamite interviews. Adam's doing double shift on Wednesday. I'm off to watch the Mighty Dunstable play. We've got the Collision review, which Adam is going to record today. So stay tuned. That will be coming out. Parker and Dave. I think Dave's still changing nappies. So we'll try and get him. He's on dad duty in a minute. Yeah, well, you see if we can get half hour off to come and talk some wrestling. We even bring Ace with him. Like we say, we might, like you said, for the Saudi Arabia show, we're going to maybe thinking about doing a live show on YouTube. So stay tuned for that if we can get that figured out because it is on a Saturday night. But as always, you can find us on social media at HTT Buckle on Twitter, Instagram, Hitting the Turnbuckle Podcast, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you just type in Hitting the Turnbuckle.
Even Threads if you fancy it on Instagram.
Threads, there you go. I haven't got a fucking clue what that is, but Adam is in charge.
I just post on it sometime.
Threads, yeah, no idea what Threads are. Something that's going. I thought that went in my trousers, but I've no idea. But we'll be back with our Raw. Adam and the Collision review will drop later today. The Raw review about tomorrow, and just keep hit that subscribe button so you get all the content. Ads, good to talk to you, mate. I will catch up with you tomorrow for Raw. This has been another episode of the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I've been your host, Andy Burrows, with the one and only Mr. Adam Cousins. Till next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe.